have some great memories of going to the circus with the Sight Center. And back in the mid to late 70s, when I was primarily going, there were two shows that would come to town every year. In the spring, you get the Shrine Circus, which was always a lot of fun. And then in the fall, you got the big one. You got the gold standard, the greatest show on earth. The Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus would come to town. They would both play down at the old Toledo Sports Arena, which is now long gone. But in the spring, I remember going to a few different Shrine Circus performances, and we'd always carpool down to the sports arena. We'd go after school, go to the 5 o'clock performance. And I remember one year we got audio description. And you have to remember, in those days, audio description wasn't a thing. It was new. It was different. And we got these headsets that we would wear, provided by the Telephone Pioneers of America, if I recall. And someone would describe the show for us. And that someone just happened to be, that time around, local radio personality at the time, Paul W. Smith. And he has since gone on to the big time in radio. He is in the Radio Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Having Paul W. Smith explain all this to you, it's like having a friend there with you. He was like a friend to a lot of us who listened to the radio because we all knew who he was. And he would describe everything in great detail. He would talk about the costumes and the performers and what they were holding in their hands, if they were juggling balls or fire or bowling pins or whatever they were. He would describe what those looked like. If the performers were up on the high wire or if they were a trapeze artist, he would describe all that. The animals and the trainers and what they were doing, and of course the clowns and all the shenanigans they were up to. He would describe it all. And at times it would get so busy, he would describe everything that's happening in all three rings at the same time. I don't know how he did it, because there was a lot going on and it was busy, but he had a lot of fun doing it. You could tell he really enjoyed doing that. And afterwards we got to meet him and shake his hand and say thank you. And me being an aspiring broadcaster at the time, I was wanting to get into radio even at that point as a kid. To meet a local celebrity like that was a real treat. On top of that, I got to go to the circus and have him describe everything. And that's a memory that I'll always hang on to. Madge Levinson put all these shows together, all these trips to the circuses and the logistics that were involved. She just had a ball. She was in her zone. And I honestly think she had more fun taking us kids to the circus than we did as kids going to the circus. In the fall, one year, we went to the Ringling Brothers show. It was on a Saturday morning, and we got on a TARTA bus at the Sight Center. We each had a guide, and we're taken down to the sports arena, and we were given a program and a souvenir to take home. And I don't remember a lot about that show, but the one thing I do remember was we got to go backstage beforehand and meet the performers. We got to see some of the animals, and they would explain to us how the animals were cared for and how the circus was put together and what they did and all that stuff. And me being a behind-the-scenes kind of guy, and even understanding at that point that the Ringling Brothers Circus was the best, the gold standard, it was really kind of cool to get up close and personal, really, with the greatest show on earth. And that's something that I'll always remember.